Okay, so we've got the first one, but I'm more of a visual person, right? Words and I don't always get along, so the first part is, yes, the definition, but I need a visual. So down here is our visual. So this guy right here is the coordinate plane. Okay, so this is a picture of a coordinate plane. We might call that like, oh, that's a graph. Nope, it's actually called the coordinate plane. It has a name. There it is. Okay, so on that coordinate plane, which one is the x-axis and which one is the y-axis? Very nice. The x-axis is going to go this way. And again, this is a quick reference, so come back to it like, oh yeah, it's this one. If you don't remember, you can always come back to this. So the x-axis is going to be the horizontal. Okay, but again, I'm a visual person, so horizontal meaning this way. Okay, so the horizontal line on that coordinate plane, or the right, left line. So the line that goes right to left. Okay. So what we need to remember from this is which one of these axes is the x and the y. We have to know that part for when we graph later, because we're going to get into, by the end of this unit, you're going to be plotting an x-intercept and a y-intercept, which you can't plot those if you don't know which is which. So we got to make sure we know that ahead of time. Okay. Then down here on the y-axis, if the x-axis is the horizontal, then the y is going to be the vertical. Or it's the one that goes up and down. Okay, that's super important to know as well, because later on we're going to be doing slope. Okay, so slope is, we talk about going up, down, so that's the y number, and we talk about going right to left, so that's the x number. Okay, so it's really important that we know x and y, and we know which one does what. So x is going to take you right and left, and y is going to take you up and down. Okay, so again, I'm a visual person though. I need to see it, so I'm going to write it down here. This guy here, that's going to be our x-axis. Okay, and the up and down one, this one here, that's our y-axis. Okay, those are the two most important parts. Okay, as we go through though, I'm going to say, hey, let's start at the origin. So we do need to know what that means. So origin, like the origin of a species, is like when it started or where it starts. So where do you think this graph starts?
In the middle.
Right there in the middle. You got it. So that is the origin. So there is sometimes a relation between like the actual definition of a word and what it means in math, sometimes. So the origin is the center of the coordinate plane. And we're going to call it, we haven't talked about this yet, but you might know what this means, so I'll go ahead and put it there. We're going to call it 0, 0. So 0, 0 is the origin. It's the center of all points. And crazy enough, this right here, this coordinate plane, is not the only type of coordinate plane. You can have circular coordinate planes, you can have rectangular coordinate planes, or you can have coordinate planes where each box is a square. And that's what we're dealing with, is the square ones. And that's what we'll only deal with in this Algebra 1. Okay. Then the quadrants. This is something you might have already seen too. The quadrant is one of the 4 parts of the graph. So a quadrant is one of 4 parts of the plane. The two things that you have to know or remember, okay, about the coordinate plane is that the quadrants are listed in Roman numerals. So if you're not familiar with Roman numerals, this is what it looks like. Are those familiar to you? Like, do you know Roman numerals? Like, that's pretty familiar? Okay, so we don't teach cursive writing anymore, but we teach Roman numerals, right? That was a joke. Because why would you teach Roman numerals? Because that was so long ago. It's okay, guys. My jokes aren't funny. I get it.
You're so funny. Yeah. You got me cracking up over here.
Okay, so you need to know that they are listed as Roman numerals, but the other thing you need to know is it goes against your natural intuition for when you number them, because quadrant 1 is here, and most people would think that quadrant 2 is down, right? Because that's natural. And it's natural to you because that's the way that the clock goes, which you look at every day. The clock goes around this way, but it doesn't. It goes the opposite way. Yep. So we use Roman numerals, and it goes counter clockwise, which just means against the clock. Okay, so we're going to go 2 is going to go to the left. 3 is the bottom left. And then 4, bottom right. Okay. So again, this is just your quick reference, guys, like your thesaurus for things that we should know at this point, but we're just kind of reminding you, bringing them back. Okay. Okay, so now we're actually going to graph. So when you graph a point, what I'm going to give you is called an ordered pair. So the ordered pair, slide that up there. The ordered pair is going to look something like 5, 6, right? So what is an ordered pair? An ordered pair is actually 2 numbers that represent the location of a point. So my example was like 5, 6, right? Okay, so that is the location of whatever. It could be the location of a hidden treasure. It could be the location of Krispy Kreme donuts. It could be the location of your house. Whatever. Like it could be anything. It's just a location. Okay? Okay, so that location, that 5, 6, has an x coordinate and a y coordinate. Which one's first? The x is first. It's alphabetical, so thank goodness something makes sense, right? It goes alphabetical, x, y. So the x coordinate is the first coordinate of the first number. Okay. When you are heading to that location, so this is just a quick reference guide. When you're heading to that location, if that number is positive, then that number is telling you to go which direction. So we're going to say if that number is positive, so if it's positive, if that first number you see is positive, which direction should you count? So positive numbers make you go to the right. Very good. Make you go to the right. Negative numbers make you go left. And that's only for the first one. So it's the first one, which ours is 5, which is positive. So if the first number is positive, you're going to count to the right. If the first number is negative, you're going to count to the left. Okay? Sorry, that went off our page a little bit here. Okay, so the y coordinate is going to be very similar. Instead of the first number, we're going to write down into the second number. If it's positive, what are you going to do?
Go up.
You're going to go up. Very good. So it's not going to make you go right, left this time because it's the y coordinate, and y is up, down. So if it's positive, we're going to go up this time instead of right. And if it's negative, we're going to go down. Okay? So about a couple weeks from now, we're going to be doing slope, and you're going to come back and you're going to say, well, you said that if that number is positive, I go right. Yes, that is true if we are talking about the first number in a ordered pair. So we can come back to this to show, well, that's kind of what you were thinking about, but now we're doing this other thing. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to give the coordinates of a point. So we're going to give the coordinates of point C. Okay, so basically what you're doing is you're telling somebody how to drive from the origin to point C. Okay, so I'm at my house, which is at the origin, so we're going to start at the origin. Okay, and you're telling me how to get to Costco or whatever. That's C, right? So you start at 0, 0, and I say, okay, where should I go? The first thing you have to tell me is which way I should go or how far I should go, right, left. Okay, so the first thing you have to tell me is the right to left direction. Should I go right or should I go left? Okay. Why? Because that should be the first number you give me, and the first number is x, and x goes right, left. So the first one is the x coordinate. Okay, so we'll practice that one first. So I'm sitting at my house at 0, 0 at the origin, and I've got to go to Costco. So give me the right, left to get there first. Well, you have to go left 2 blocks, right? So in my answer for C, you're going to tell me left, which is negative, 2 blocks. How am I going to remember that left is negative? Well, 2 ways. Right here it says left is negative. It says that right there on our notes part, left is negative. And also right next to this letter C, right here on the x-axis, there's that number -2 right there. So that helps out as well. Okay, then you're going to tell me how far should I go up or down? So after you tell me to go left 2, tell me how far I should go up or down. So I'm going to go left 2 and then up. Down. No, I should stay right there. I'm there. I'm staring at the Costco sign, right? So I'm already there. So if you go left 2 and you're already there, you can use a 0. Right? So you can say 0 for that one. I shouldn't go up any. So that's our y coordinate. And that kind of tricks you a little bit sometimes because you think it should be a number. Well, it's okay to use 0 sometimes too. Okay, so let's do D really quick. So again, all of these answers are 2 coordinates, an x coordinate and a y coordinate. Give me the right, left number first, and then the up, down number. So for D, I should go left, then down. Now, because I know I'm going left and down, both of these should be negative. So -4 for the first one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then down 1, 2, 3. So a -4 means I went left 4 and then went down 3. Okay. So when we're practicing this, we're just checking. I'm checking for, are the correct numbers negative? That should be negative, and do you have them in the right order? Okay. So some people might say that the answer for that one was -3, -4. Well, you have to make sure to do the left, right number first. Okay. Last one, let's go E. So we're going to go over 2. So you have to go right 2 and then down 4. So right 2, down 4. Okay, so those are the coordinates for those points. So that's the first part that you're going to practice on the back side. Then there's a second part. So that's the first part, just giving the coordinates for different points. And then the second part is actually plotting them. Okay, so the last part is, can you plot these points? And again, this is just a reference guide. Hopefully you already know how to plot them. Okay, so we're going to first plot 2, 3. Okay, this first number, again, this is xy, alphabetically, xy. The Y tells you if you're going right or left.
You're going right and up.
This one's right because it's positive. This one's up because it's positive. Okay, so take your pencil, put it at 0, 0. So always got to start at the origin. Already's got to start at that 0, 0. You're going to go over to the right 2. Don't put a dot there. Okay, then you're going to go up 3. That's when you get to put a dot. Now, if it happens to have a letter next to it, you can give that dot a name. That dot's name is A. That's Aunt Annie's pretzels right there. We're trying to drive to. So that's an A. It's always a capital letter. And then the other part of the direction says, it says plot the points in the coordinate plane and then describe the location. So the location is the quadrant. So I can put those back up here again if we need to see those. So a shorthand notation for quadrants, just Q. So this is in Q1. Okay, let's do the next one. So the next one says -4, 0. And stop. Yes, so this one's going to tell you to go left. Okay, negative on the first number tells you to go left. And stop. Don't go any after that. So -4 to the left. I'll give that a name. That's B.
Wouldn't that be 2 and 3?
It's a great question. Where's the location? Now, I said you could give it a quadrant name, right? What if it's not in a quadrant? Then what do you say?
X-axis.
Very good. This is on the x-axis. So it's not actually in a quadrant. So you don't want to say it's on 2 and 3. It's actually on the x-axis. So we know the name for that line, so we can say it's on that line, x-axis. Okay, so to give the location, we plot it, done, and then we give the location. Okay, last one is 3, -1. Ooh, I said that backwards. Sorry about that. 1, -3. This 1 tells you to go right 1, and then the -3 tells you to go down 3. So right 1, down 3 is going to be here. We'll label that as C, and then that's going to be in Q4. Okay, so just a little bit of a reminder for anybody who has already done this, and just make sure everybody's on the same page. So down here at the bottom, our classwork is always kind of what we practice in class. So these last little bit here, I know it says 17 questions, but it shouldn't take us all too long. So the first 8, it says give the coordinates. So the answers for the first 8 should end up kind of like this looking. Right? You've got your 2 coordinates with a comma in between. So all 8 of those should be an X, Y answer. That's for the first 8. And then down here at the bottom, I didn't want to print 9 graphs. So each set of 3 you can graph together on the same graph. And then right next to it, just tell me what quadrant it goes in. Or if it's on an axis, tell me it's on an axis. Okay. And then we're good there. So as soon as you kind of have those done, I'll kind of just be looking over your shoulder, making sure you're putting the numbers in the right order and making sure that the negatives are there if they need to be. Okay.